what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to make a sling. And I'm not talking about like for your arm, I'm talking about the old weapon. The old story of David and Goliath. What he used. It wasn't a slingshot like the rubber band and a Y stick. It was a sling. The first thing you need is going to be some string. Now I have this stuff and it's really strong. But don't like to take a knot, okay? So I think I'm going to use this still because I was thinking about using this string right here, which takes a knot very well. The only problem with it is it's not very strong, so I don't want it to break. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duct tape my knots. So the other things you're gonna need is some sort of cloth. I'm gonna use my old boonie hat. It's gotten too small, so this is it right here. This is the components of your sling. Now I've never made one of these before, so I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm also gonna need some scissors. I'm gonna use a secondary pair of scissors for poking holes. And like I said before, the duct tape. Now, what you do with your string is you want to double it up, and then this is going to be part, okay? So you want that loop in there. So I'm going to tie a knot in it. And you don't want it too tight, or too big, too loose. Now, so you're supposed to stick that over your thumb, but I don't like that, so I'm going to use it on my fingers. So I'm going to put my fingers in that loop. That's what I'm going to use to anchor it, because this is a piece that you're going to release to throw your target. So it's easier for me to release like that and to keep my fingers inside. So I like that size right there. Now I'm going to tie another knot in there. I'm not too concerned about this one coming undone. Okay? Because if it comes undone, it's not a humongous big deal. Okay? Because that loop's right there. The knot's going to be down here that I'm concerned about. Okay, so that's done. So you're going to put that over there. Now you're going to go to your fabric. Which, I wish I had... You know what? Hang on. See something here. So you don't really want to tear that up, don't have to. Yeah, there we go. This will work perfect. There we go. So I'm going to use a little bit of t-shirt. Okay. So you're going to want to cut. I want to hack a piece of this off to make it more manageable. Okay, so I'm actually going to draw out a rectangle on this. You know what, let me... grab a little bit of protection here on the table. Okay, so I'm gonna use this piece right here. So I'm just gonna draw out a rectangle. You know what? I'm gonna go a little bit bigger on that. Do it here. Now, just because I don't want to have it open. There we go. That should work better. You know what? No, let me do a little bit bigger. I'm trying to avoid this little hole here. I went online and I saw a bunch of people who've made slings. and they are beautiful. They use different colors of leather in their straps and pouches. Mine is going to look like crap, but, you know. And I tell people all the time, like, whenever you make something for the first time, whether it's, you know, a spear, a doghouse, whatever, looks are not as important as getting the technique down. You know, that's why I don't mind using, you know, an old t-shirt and stuff like that. You know, this ugly red string that I may or may not have to duct tape to make sure it holds. You know, this just to make sure that the idea of what I'm doing works fine. Okay, so there's that. Now, what you want to do is you want to put these two together, and you're going to put a hole in the corners, which is why I got these secondary pair of scissors. I was also kind of thinking about reinforcing that too. And now you're going to take your string and you're going to thread it through the corners. So this is going to be your launching pouch. And you know what? Let me go the other way. Now maybe I should put a third hole in there. Right there in the center, kind of help stabilize it a little bit. So then you want to straighten out your strings. You know what I think I'm gonna put a piece of duct tape to kind of like sandwich that string in between the two pieces, like so. Now see, if I want to make this look good, I just simply like sew those together. Put like a little loop in there, sew a little loop. Because I don't want it to like spin. But then again, I don't want to put so much duct tape on here that it loses all flexibility. Actually, I should make sure I got that in the right position before I did that, shouldn't I? And yes, see, that's wrong. It needs to be down here, so I completely just screwed myself up. Luckily, duct tape don't hold too well to cloth, that doesn't. Okay, so let me position that. Because you want the pouch in the center. You know, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tie this piece off. Now, how I'm going to tie this knot is I'm going to put individual knots on each string. Use a figure 8 knot, which is my preferred knot on the end of the string to keep it from, like, you know, coming out of knots and stuff. I did exclude one piece of equipment but I've got that you're not gonna. It's optional for you. Now I'm gonna tie this together. I don't know. I'm gonna use my figure 8 knot. Just because I like it. And I'm gonna do one more knot. And that's just because the string is just really don't like taking knots. Look at that. And now I'm just gonna tie these two together. Like that. I might be a little overcautious because this, it's not that big of a deal if it comes undone. But so you want to get that, yeah, see how that just kind of is all open like that? Nah, I don't want that. So you get it in position. Now I'm going to duct tape it down. And I'm just going to put a little, I'm going to try to do just like I did before, only a little bit plus. There we go, that'll work good. Because I didn't like how it came over the edges. And this way, I can still move it a little bit. Okay. So now it should form a nice pouch. Now, the one piece of material that I have is aluminum foil, and I'm just going to make some balls out of that. So, because I'm upstairs and I don't want to, have like shoot a lot of like things around. Like I'm actually planning on using the same shot for my slingshot as I do for this. So I'm going to make a couple balls, and I'm going to do some test shooting up here. And if everything goes good, I just made myself a nice sling. And what you do again is you hold it, you spin, and then you release the one end. And I heard that you spin towards your target. So make 4 balls, that'll work for me. So let's give this thing a whirly whirl.